What do you think? Is mobile service a complement of rice in the market? Or do you think that apple is a substitute of tomato? Listen on this from Professor A.K. Enamel Hawk.
In this course, we're going to deal with this through, and we realize this is mostly negative. Remember the word I'm saying, mostly. In most cases, it's negative. It may be positive. This is positive and negative. This is also positive and negative. So we have now, we are looking at demand side of a consumer side, and we realize that this is, and if I'm a producer, remember I can use my marketing skills to influence the demand, obviously. So I'm not saying this I cannot do, but this is in my control. Unfortunately, this is not in your control. That's why we bring it to economics and say, look, we need to know how this is moving. Why you cannot influence your price, we'll come back very soon, we'll talk about it, that you cannot influence your price. We now realize that income, if it is positive, is called normal good. If it is negative, it's called inferior good. So remember, we are classifying all of them. If it is positive, what does positive means? So think about it. This is, so I'm talking about price of rice. Remember, we're talking about price of rice goes up, and obviously quantity of rice theoretically should go down. That was a negative relationship right here. You can see the negative relationship. And what we see, a positive relationship, which basically means quantity of mobile services goes. This relationship is negative. So now realize what happens. And this is something that most textbook never explains properly. So this is what happens. When this happens, we said, okay, we'll negative relationship. Remember, the demand curve was shifted down. Okay, so this was also going down. So the relationship is positive between these two. This is going down, this is going down. Relationship is positive, same direction. So what is happening? So what is happening here? You realize that your rice demand goes down and your mobile services demand also goes down. Okay, what is the relationship between them? What kind of relationship is this?
Positive.
Positive relationship. But if I look into the product, what are the two types of products? So you may imagine I give you now, change the example, and I said your milk and sugar. Your sugar demand has gone down, your milk demand has gone down. What type of these products are? How do you call the relationship between milk, sugar and milk?
So these are complementary products, right?
Complementary products. So realize we had a complementary product. Okay, these are complementary products. They move into the same direction. So what do you see now? Which two are moving in the same direction? So we said that if mobile price goes up, rice demand will go down, right? So we're talking about this. So this is going up and this is going down. So if this is going up, this is going down, the relationship is negative.
Right, sir.
So remember, this was a negative relationship I was talking about it. So we're talking about a negative relationship. Now we realize that while these are going down, remember this is going up, this is going down, and when this is going down, this also goes down, right? And this particular relationship is known as complementary relationship. So would you believe that rice and mobile services are complementary? So when we say complementary product, remember complementary product, and we say complementary product has a particular feature, and we use socks, right? And shoes. Yeah, so we said, oh, socks and shoes are complementary because both of them goes into the same. If shoe demand goes up, sock demand also goes up. So yeah, so this is why we say these are complementary products. Now we are saying, and I'm now saying that look, rice and mobile are also complementary products. This is a very common example in the textbook. This one, that if I am mobile service operator, I now realize that rice price going up is going to reduce my demand. Just like if I'm a sock seller, we now realize that if shoe price goes up, socks demands will also go down.
Oh, no.
So remember, this fellow and this fellow should think exactly the same way. So if I'm selling mobile services, I should also realize that, okay, if the rice price in an economy is going up, I should start thinking about it, that I'm going to be the victim of it.
Right.
Right? So now realize that how markets in an economy are related to each other. And if you are indifferent, and if you say, oh, no, I don't care about it, answer is you are fool. You have to prepare an investment plan based on the market. And we have just shown that this relationship is a very important relationship because it tells you what you should do as a producer, because this product price has gone up. So in other words, if I have an idea about this relationship between this kind of relationship, which is complementary relationship, if I know that I'm with some product I have complementary relationship, then I should watch out what is happening in those markets. And in other words, if in this case, if I'm selling mobile services, I should also watch out what is happening in the rice market, because rice market is going to affect me. This is also true for, you find out, this is also true for if rice price goes up, people also reduce, for example, education. People bring their children out of schools. They will say, look, for a moment, so if I'm selling educational service products, then I realize that rice price has gone up is going to kill my market, because there will be parents who will say that you have to come and work with me because I cannot afford anymore one income earning person. So you realize that your behavior, and if I'm a producer of a product, and if you say, oh, I'm selling this product, I'm not worried about the rest, answer is no. You are linked with the rest of the economy through this. And so this means many other products exist in the market. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. And you should be aware of this. Unfortunately or fortunately, most textbooks, instead of writing other products, they say, no, this is substitutes and complement. Which is true actually. Why? Because the negative is actually nothing but complement. And positive will show it, positive is nothing but substitute. So now you realize that when the textbook writes that there are relationships, because relationship can be either positive or negative. So if it is a positive negative relationship, it's a complementary product. And if it is a positive relationship, it will show you that it's a substitute product. So the textbooks often write that they will say price, my price, this is actually nothing but my price, the product I'm selling, and then price of substitute and complement. Demand is influenced by price of substitute and complement. They are correct. And I decided to write other goods because I think they are correct, but if they are correct, you will always think about milk and sugar. You'll always think about tea and coffee. Nice. Right? You will always think about, oh, I should be, since I am selling tea, I should watch out the price of coffee. And that is why I decided to say, no, this is correct theoretically. Other products that substitute and complement is actually more or less linked to the idea that, okay, there are other products. And it's all the product that a consumer consumes. So technically, other products, what does other products means? Anything that I consume. So all the products in my bundle of consumption. I went to once in a market and I was looking at tomato. Tomato was very new product in the market. I was looking at tomato, and there was a consumer who came, and he asked the price, and the producer asked for a price, and they said, oh, this is the asking price. And he was so angry, he said, I'm going to buy apple. So he said, I'm not going to buy tomato anymore. I'm going to go to the apple and buy apple. So realize that how people decide. Do you think tomato and apple are substitute or complement? It will never enter into your radar by the word substitute and complement, because you never think about they are related, but they are related. Why? Because the price of tomato is so high, apple demand has gone up now. Someone decided to go to buy the fruits. So remember that how they are related. And I just mentioned, then I think even though textbook always write it is substitute and complement, I think it's not fair, because it brings your attention to the wrong set. It is any product that we buy. So let's now look into the positive side of it. So imagine that we are selling a product. So imagine for a moment that I'm selling a product. So my product is A. Imagine this is an A. And price of A. So assuming that price of A is there, and there is another product, which is called price of B. So remember, this is, I'm talking about this one. And imagine what happens now. We're looking at this has gone up. This has not changed. So I can do a better solution. Okay, let me put this Q here and price there, because I'm not going to do anything to do with the price of A. Price of A, I'm selling product A. I'm not changing anything. But what happens now, this is a positive relationship, which means if the price of B goes up, demand for my product also goes up. This is known as positive relationship. So remember this positive relationship, this particular relationship is right here. We're saying, what is happening? So we're saying, look, what is happening? That price of A is positive related, which basically means that price of A has gone up. And because of this, what we see that my demand has gone up. Now realize you look into the quantity of A, B. If price of B, remember it's a different market. If price of B goes up, quantity of B must have gone down, right? Because this relationship by definition is negative. Remember, this is the same product. So same product relationship is negative. On the other hand, if I now look between them, what do I see? They move into the opposite direction.
Negative.
Negative. Right? So
Nice.
what is happening? What is happening now? The story is like this. Price of B goes up. People reduce the supply of B, demand for B, but people substituted the demand with A because A has gone up. So if this is positive relationship, we say this relationship is a substitute relationship, which means this price of B goes up, demand for A goes up, right? That's the relationship. So realize this, if the price is B goes up, demand for A goes up. So that is the positive relationship. So this positive relationship is right here. Price of B goes up, demand for A also go up. If price of B goes down, demand for A goes down. That is also a positive relationship. Don't forget that. As long as the direction is the same, relationship is positive. So we're looking at the first relationship, which is the price of B goes up. Now here, we already know that there is a demand function. Q of B is also a function of price of B. There are many other things. And this relationship by definition is negative. Remember, this first one is here. This is A.
Yes, sir.
So this is negative. So which means demand for B must have gone down. So if demand for A has gone down, I now look into this relationship, this line and this line, and they're exact opposite, which means this is a negative relationship. Now I interpret it, I say, what is happening? Because of B product price goes up, quantity demand for B gone down, but people are buying more A. So people are substituting B with A, which means a positive relationship actually is nothing but a substitute relationship. Just like what we mentioned, a negative relationship is a complement relationship. So there is a relationship is negative, which is complement, relationship is positive, which is substitute. And what happens? Tomato price of tomato has gone up. People are reducing their demand for tomato, but people are also saving that money and say, okay, if I'm not going to tomato, I'm going to use this same and I'm going to buy more apple. The example that I have just shown, that this is a real example. So what you see, this relationship between apple demand and tomato price is what? Positive. Why positive? Because they are direction in the same. That as the price of tomato went too much up, a person who came to buy apple, he said, no, I'm not going to buy apple. I'm going to go to the fruit market and buy more apple. Sorry, not buy tomato, but I go to the fruit market and buy more apple. So this is a positive relationship. Now in return, what happens if I now look into this? Because tomato price went up, tomato demand went down. So if I now can look into this relationship between two demand, what do I see? This one is going up, this one is going down. So that is a negative relationship, which means people have substituted tomato, right? Tomato is replaced with apple. Now, as a producer, you will never think about it. You will never think about the product which are going to affect, because you will always think about the similar set. I'm trying to get away with it because most textbooks write it. And the problem with that kind of particular definition is that as you start thinking in this, you never think about out of the box. Now I'm saying that I really don't need to worry about what is the product name. I all need to worry about it, whether the relationship is negative or positive. If it is a positive, it's a substitute good for me. If it is negative, it's a complementary good for me. But both of them has an impact on my demand. So my demand is affected by all these factors. That's a very important strategy of selling the products. In other words, end of the day, I, as a producer, I should not worry about the name of the product. I should worry about it for which product the relationship is positive and for which product the relationship is negative. That is all I need to know, nothing more than that.
Please subscribe to this channel to receive updates on new videos.